Have you ever wondered if your boy is being abused? Or have you ever had a kind of guess that something is wrong and it could be that your boy is being abused? Now, depending on the boy's age, abuse in this case could be bullying by his friends, his peers, or abuse in this case could be if he's in a relationship, or even by a relative, somebody close to you guys in the family. So now, like I said, depending on the age of the boys, have you ever asked why your boy is behaving one way or the other, or if something could be wrong with the boy? Now, today I want to be talking about the signs of unhealthy or abusive friendship or relationship. And why did I think about doing this? Because a lot of the times we parents are carried away by, oh, the boy is growing, oh, he's maturing, and we do not see those little things that could mean that something is wrong. And I've had a few parents ask me how they would know that something is actually wrong in the boys' friendship, or for the ones that are in relationships, in the boys' relationships. I have wondered as well. So it's real to me just as it may be real to you. So now, but before we go into how to notice or how to identify what is actually wrong or if something is actually wrong, let's first of all define unhealthy relationship. So, unhealthy relationship, a relationship that lacks mutual respect, open communication, trust, or support, and it can come in various forms. It can occur, in the family, in friendship, like I said earlier, depending on your son's age. Even the age doesn't really depend on the age just doesn't really matter, right? It can also occur in romantic relationship or in the family, even in professional connection. Have you ever been bullied at work? I have been. So it could even happen in professional relationships. So, but it is important for you as parents to know and understand when these things are happening so that you can help the boy. A lot of the times, the truth of the matter is when the children are going through things like this, they might not tell you. And when you ask them, you hear things like, I'm fine. I told my son once, I said, once I ask you, are you okay? What's up? The tone of your I'm fine tells me if something is wrong or not. And when that tone tells me something is wrong, the truth of the matter is not all of the time I would probe. Most times I don't probe. I just go back and on my knees, right? I'm a Christian mom. I'm a prayerful mom. So I don't judge. I don't argue. I just go on my knees, to pray about it and for God to reveal what is wrong or what could be wrong with me. So how do I know that my son is actually being abused or bullied? How do I know there is something wrong in my son's relationship? The first thing, or one of them, is isolation. I've heard a lot of parents say, oh, he's just become a teenager, he's just growing, and then he wants to be in his room. I think at some point I actually was deceived by that as well. That I didn't know something was wrong. What was wrong at that point wasn't actually abusive relationship or friendship, but something was actually wrong. So once your son begins to withdraw and isolate himself, do not assume he's growing. It could be, that as they're growing, they want to be by themselves because they want to figure things out, but it could also be as a result of abusive people, bullies in their lives. Also, behavioral change. They've suddenly changed, and you notice changes in your son's behavior or his mood or his personality. Don't assume because he's becoming a twin or a teen. It might not be the case. Underline the word might. It might be and it might not be the case. Another one is the boy that used to be so confident, has a very healthy self-esteem, suddenly becomes suddenly begins to develop or exhibit signs of low self-esteem. When you ask him questions, he can't talk, and then he begins to withdraw. We talked about isolation and hide away, but his self-esteem, the way he talks, changes. You notice that somebody that used to talk very confidently begins to drag his speech, or they can't express themselves. They stop being able to express themselves. Something can be wrong, and it could be that somebody is abusing or bullying them. Also, it could be because as a result of, you could notice some physical signs, right? Physical signs. Now, this physical signs could be that you're noticing marks on them. Now, this marks could be self-harm, or it could be somebody else inflicting harm on them. I said to speak, but I said, if for a lot of us mothers, including me, if you want to see the lion, the lioness in us, touch our children. Let the lioness arise in you, or the lion in you. Now, when I say the lioness or the lion, the lions and lionesses, they don't just that species of animals, they don't just act. They're very strategic, they're very deliberate. They observe, and then they now decide on what to do or how to act. So if you see physical signs on them, unusual marks, or that they are covering up themselves unusually, they're, not, maybe not that now, covering up their private parts, it's a good one. It's something we all expect when they begin to get to some certain age. But when you now notice that, for instance, they're always wearing gloves in the house, or they're always wearing their hoodie in the house, hey, something is wrong. Something might be wrong. I'm not saying definitely wrong, but something might be wrong. And this is when you begin to look. I personally, when I begin to notice things in my children, I don't ask. I make sure I investigate in my spirit and my sensitivity. I am sensitive. I am, my antenna is up, and I'm looking around, and I'm being observant. That's the word I'm looking for. I become extra observant, so that if anything is wrong, I'm able to pin it. And then when I ask, I'm asking with evidence and confidence that, yeah, I know something is wrong. And that's when I go to them. I say, they say, oh, it's fine, Mom. I say, is it fine, or you don't want to talk about it now? Because I know it's not fine. So, and that's because I have done my investigation spiritually and physically. Also, when they begin to have secretive behaviors, when they hear that you enter their room, you know, or they're hiding their bags, they don't want you to touch anything, I don't snoop around the phone. I don't even, in fact, there was time when they were a lot younger that I used to open their phone. I don't hide behind their back to open their phone. I said one day, I can't remember what happened. And one of them, I think, was talking about how he changes pin, in his phone pin. And I said, I don't need to know your pin. When I need to look into your phone, you will be the one that will hand it over to me and unlock the pin. That's because I'll say, I want to check your phone, unlock your phone, and bring it. you know. So, but when, for instance, when I've said they know that mom does that, I said, and then they're jittering, they're shaking, something is wrong, something is happening. Don't just say, oh, it's because he doesn't want to see what is in the phone. Mm-mm. And that's not the point to where the time when you now begin to say you want to investigate, you look at his phone, look at it's the time where you want to put on your spiritual antenna and know what is wrong. Also, the truth of the matter is we can hardly you can't catch them like that so easily. You have to be prayerful. I can't there's a word that is ringing in my head, I can't remember now, but it's not except the Spirit of God reveals it to you. And when the Spirit of God reveals it to you, more, you no denying. Do you understand? No denying. It will be the truth. Also, when you begin to notice signs of fear and anxiety, and there's I watched a movie that when somebody enters the room, or this girl is sleeping and then she hears sound, she will jump up and all of that. And the guy had to ask her, what is wrong? Tell me. Oh, it's fine. By the time when she eventually spoke up, apparently she's been having, she was raped and then physically abused by the guys that raped her, and that, traumatized her, was traumatizing her, that any sound around her she's jumping and all of that. So when you begin to notice unusual signs of fear and anxiety, they're expressing fear, they're expressing anxiety, I think ask, investigate. Remember, I keep saying spiritually and then physically. Also, lastly for me today is when they begin to perform badly in the academics. A child that used to be very good academically, begins to perform badly in academics. When I was in primary school, there was this thing that happened to me that I never came first, but those my years in primary school, I would come. There were two of us that would come. When I would come, we used to alternate it, either first or second. I mean, I never came first, like I said. Second, third, second, third, second, third. And then there was a particular time that I think I came 20 something. I went to a public private primary school, so with a lot of children. I think there were usually about 20, 30, 40 of us in the class. So that particular term, I came out very big number, from the back, very big number. And I remember that my foster mom that I was living with was very disappointed, and she really, really beat me. But why did I come up with that? Why did I get that position? It was because somebody was bullying me in class. And when we were writing exams, the person's pencil broke, or was it pen or something? She had something to do with what they are writing material. And I had to give mine so that they don't beat me after school. And then a child that used to come second or third came 20. And I couldn't even talk about it at home. And guess what? I think the time before that I came third, if I remember, either the second or the third, as far as I remember, is the last time I had those good outcome in exams. I became like those powerful ones from behind. And it wasn't because I wasn't intelligent or brilliant, but you know what that also did to me? It means throughout my primary school, I never had good results until our final local government plan. I mean the final exam, local government common entrance that we now did. That was when I now had a good result. So when things begin to happen, pay attention and ask. How do you ask? It's not by shouting or by getting angry. I always say today, my husband still said to me that, my wife will never say anything when something is happening, when she's noticed something. She will say it when she's very sure and certain, and when nobody can deny it. So it's not when something has happened that we should say it. Give it time, reflect on it, meditate, pray, and then ask God, most importantly, for strategy. And one thing I always ask God for is, take me to that place, that point. As in, when you're catching fish, those people that catch fish with those things, those pointer, help me to be able to catch it. That when I throw the thing, I would hit it, and there would be no missing, no denying. And a lot of the times, in fact, 80% of the times, it happened exactly that way. I hope this has helped you. I am Bukola Jologo, fondly referred to as Kiki, and I'll see you again. Thank you so much for stopping by. And don't remember to subscribe if you've not subscribed, and hit the notification button so that next time I release any teaching video again, you will be the first to know about it. Thank you and God bless.